You should just start recording. That's what we should just start. Like, I like the little pre-show. Don't you like having a little pre-podcast
I like
show?
the pre-podcast.
Are we recording? So we want like her to start recording before we know that they're recording. So hopefully, like, we want to give you a little pre-show. Anyway, okay, this is the end of the pre-show.
All right, maybe we'll do some
smoother
transition.
Whatever. Okay, this is weird. I'm Fizza.
No, let's have Kristal do her intro.
Well, I don't want it to be like just this weird voice.
Well, it happened.
It's not the voice of God. Well, I guess we're all God. Okay.
All right, you do whatever intro you want to do, Kristal.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Kristal Adams.
Yeah, because Pallavi introduced you already.
You introduced yourself.
I know, but I just, it's Pallavi, and I introduced Pallavi.
And I'm introducing Fizza.
I already did, though. No. Okay, this is cool. This is fun.
It's only our millionth episode. I know. We've done this.
I know.
Zara's going to be late, but she'll be here.
And someone's still going to think, I'm going to be late, and Zara is here.
Oh, yeah, they're still going to audio mix us up.
Audio recognition comedy.
Yeah. People still sometimes mix up.
No, I don't know. I was being very cynical there. So you know what? I'm going to rewrite that story.
Somebody said, one of my friends who listens to the podcast, I think she mixed up you and Zara for a while. Vocally.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. But
people who haven't seen us in person.
Okay. I don't know if that's common though. I think I just always remembered that, and
it was literally one person. I think that was Katie. Shout out, Katie.
Hey, Katie. My resentment has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me.
We should start doing stand-up quotes that are just real truths. But with like a stand-up picture, and you should put that on there.
Oh my God. Should I make them like greeting cards or something?
I think it's better if it's expected to be funny and then it's just like real.
Like fortune cookies. I always wanted like to have a line of fortune cookies.
Oh, your whole line.
Yeah. Like fortune cookies with shit.
Would they be actual fortune cookies, or like could the cookie be a different shape?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm open to whatever,
All right.
Yeah.
What are some geometric options?
They're actually all shaped like vaginas. Though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like thinking
about. If you turn them a certain way, they're
spot on.
Pussy cookies.
Spotting on.
So the breaking feels very violent, honestly. I mean,
it does.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now I'll never. But that's why men always feel like they have to find their future inside of us,
Yeah.
They're always
my boyfriend's always reading down
break
there.
Us also.
He's always like saying numbers. He's like 13, 29. I'm like, what is this?
And then that they also need to break us too in the process.
Yeah.
Right? To for their own discovery and growth.
Men,
right?
you hear that? We're starting off hot.
Why after sex?
I don't know why I'm on the angry riff.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. He always fucks me and then goes straight to the liquor store.
My therapist tells me I'm very angry lately.
Oh, really?
And it's funny because I was like not acknowledging it. And so like now I'm acknowledging it, so it's not like a fucking angry elephant.
Mm-hmm.
A mammoth. No, I don't want to put that on mammoths.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, mammoths probably are dope.
You're rude, bitch. Wait, okay, Kristal's a comedian, and you also have a podcast, and you talk about how sad you are on your or how much you cry. Not necessarily sad, but cry, right? How sensitive you are.
Too sensitive for comedy.
I'm changing the tagline. It never had a tagline, but that's what it is where I talk about how sad I am.
How sad I am. I talk about how angry I am on this podcast all the time. And now Fizza is also talking about how angry
I'm feeling angry in the moment.
Yes.
What are you angry about?
A lot of things.
List them.
I think all the men in my life, starting with Dad, who I love dearly, but it's like, I think I'm starting to like a lot of that trauma has been triggered. So it's good. This is good. It's like it's a stage of grieving whatever attention I didn't get that I needed.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right.
Whatever made me too sensitive.
Yes. Well, why were you hiding the anger? Did you go into that?
That's a great
I'm
question,
curious.
Kristal.
Well, growing up,
that is.
Well, yeah. Now this is sort of I love when we fuse podcasts because like the dynamic sort of changes. We get a flavor of your podcast.
She's gonna explore our feelings. Fuck, I wasn't ready for this.
Fuck yeah, I love this shit. I'm ready for a deep dive. It's okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you're ready. You got this. I believe in you. Well, because my needs weren't met.
But why were you not expressing your anger?
Oh, okay. So the culture I grew up in. Well, anyway, I don't want to like blame it on the culture or like whatever. But the family dynamic was that I I didn't really have rights.
Yeah.
It was just like sort of it was sort of like a really patriarchal household, and it's just like, what dad says is finite, and then like, but basically you couldn't question anything.
Yeah.
So anytime I expressed any feeling that was inconvenient to them, it would have a negative response, long story short. So my coping was to mind my own fucking business until I was prodded enough where I would just fucking rage.
Yeah.
Because, everyone has a fuse.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
I really
so I
relate
carry
to
a
that.
lot of anger. I know how to carry a lot of anger.
Yeah.
I think that's probably been a huge drive of my comedy. Like, I feel like a lot of my jokes have been generated just from like just being fucking furious.
But you know what's interesting is
It's upsetting when I sometimes lose the fury. I have to I was like, oh, I have to get skilled now. I can't just lean on the passion. So, but it's just like, it's a lot of it come from like a really fiery place.
Do people but you find that audiences enjoy your anger, like the way that you're angry on
When
stage?
it's authentic, because I'm able, like, I don't know. I guess it's funny.
Because I have the exact opposite. Like, if I get too angry, they hate it.
If I'm too sad, it's like people just, like, they're too, like, people want to hold me in a blanket. Like, it's like we can't, I need to, like, work through stuff.
Yeah.
And anger's actually, like, I think a more galvanizing sort of, it's a little, I think, more empowered than sadness.
Sure.
You
It's
said you
secondary to
relate
sadness,
you
though.
relate to what she says, like in growing up in like a household like that, or
Oh, yeah.
explain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my mom at one point, she may deny that, but I swear I'm quoting her. The thing she told me one time was, go into your room and don't come out until you're smiling.
Oh, whoa,
Yes.
yowza!
Yeah. So
What is she, a man on the street? Huh? What's going on there, Mom?
So it's just like no concept of how feelings work whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
She comes out with like a Joker smile,
Oh, yeah, that's
like
literally.
in the mirror holding her lips up. You're like, fuck.
And I was
cut your
also in
cheeks.
blackface, so it was
which
very
Joker?
scary.
Oh, no. Which Joker?
The latest- the Joker
Sam
movie.
Jackson Joker. But yeah, are you the Heath Ledger Joker where you cut your cheeks?
No, I'm talking about the Joaquin where he's
Oh,
holding
you're
his
the
lips
Joaquin.
up. Yeah.
Okay, so not too violent.
I was actually thinking of the Jack Nicholson one.
Good.
So.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
nice.
that's what I'm saying. You have like I wanted to get the picture of what type of Joker smile you were
When you
gonna come out
said
with.
when you said Jack Nicholson in reference to the Joker, I just pictured him in The Shining, shoving his head
That's
through
so
the door.
funny. Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Well, I feel like he channeled.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Who is your
that thing.
favorite Joker?
My favorite
good question.
live Joker is Heath Ledger, but also Mark Hamill plays a mean fucking Joker, like a really good one.
What?
Mark Hamill played Joker in Batman the Animated Series. That's his voice and the best Mark
Oh.
Hamill
She
role.
She said it like
I've
we
ever
just
heard.
know.
What? Oh God! Oh, I love that. But he's known for that too. I don't know. That's my favorite Mark Hamill role of all time.
Interesting. How did he sound?
That's his voice, his laughter. I want that as my ringtone because it's like the most maniacal laughter of a Joker. It was so good. It was amazing. It's the iconic Joker voice of your childhood.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'd say like Heath Ledger is the iconic Joker voice of like our adulthood.
Yeah.
I think it's different. I look at
But I
them
like
differently because
Joaquin's.
animated and live.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's just I'm just sort of piggybacking off
Yeah,
what you
Heath
said.
Ledger is amazing.
But like I think Joaquin's is good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does it well.
I didn't watch it.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a hiatus from the male voice. So
Hey,
I didn't know that, but I mean, I'm in awe.
How are you manifesting that into your
I've
daily
cut
life?
down on most of my podcasts, so
wow.
they're all on there.
Don't you live with a
I'm just
man, a
kidding.
French man?
I know. Yeah, he's the exception. It's because he has an accent. He has
Yeah, no,
a
I was just
beautiful
gonna say.
accent. Yeah. He tries to hide it though.
That's the boundary.
He
right
tries
there.
to hide it.
Well, yeah, because so the thing is, and I didn't think about this, but my mom was like, but why does he want to sound American? You know, like,
Yeah.
she's like, it's sexy. And it's like, okay, think about if you're learning like French, for example, you want to pronounce French
Yeah.
perfectly. You're
Yeah.
trying.
That's a
You're
great
trying to pronounce
comparison.
it perfectly. And that's the same with him. You know, like he wants to pronounce the words perfectly according to like American English.
But you know what's interesting is like abroad, it's like we have sort of the reputation as Americans of being stupid. But like here, if he were to have, a different accent, we'd be like, impressed.
Somebody posted like a British accent that was like super like I don't know. It was one of those reality shows, and it was just like I don't know why I had that reality shows, that inflection, but it had like the most like low class British accent, and they're like, when Americans think of British accents, they don't think of it's like, funny. Oh yeah, I have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, like we can't fuck up going that way.
Yeah,
like if we're gonna attempt something else, it's like we need to get it right.
Yeah,
but
we're trying. Yeah,
there's more pressure. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, but my favorite thing that he does is because he has an accent. It's actually not necessarily French.
Yeah,
it's like if you didn't know he was French, you would be like, you're not from here, but I can't tell where. Right? It doesn't sound like stereotypically like a French person speaking English. But every now and then, because he knows so much about pop culture and specifically Black pop culture, even though he's a French Jew. Sometimes if I say something, he'll say, "Girl,"
no,
like that, like that, and it's so fun. I'm like, say it again, "Girl."
That is so
and he never
funny.
says, "Girl, go to your room and come out with a smile."
Oh my God, triggered.
How do you work out emotions with him?
So I've gotten so much better. I mean, I went to therapy when I was in college, and I felt so dumb because she had to give me one, like what they give kids, like those little like emotion, like
the emoji.
Yes,
basically the spaces.
Because I only had like 3 words for the
Are you
emotions
kidding
that
me?
I felt.
I was Googling that last week. Are you fucking serious? Like, you're not dumb for that. Like, that is something that, because no one has an EQ.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
if you grow up in a childhood where emotions are shut down.
I said an ek, if you will.
An ek, sure.
I call it an ek. It's
do we do
it? Hard G, soft G.
Was ik a thing?
Oh yeah, intellect. What is it?
Yeah, IQ.
IQ. And then ik and ek.
Ek.
But yeah, I didn't have an emotional. It was so. I had to learn what all the words were for the quote unquote negative emotions because I didn't have the different gradients or colors of like what felt bad. I was like, do I feel shame? Do I feel embarrassed? Do I feel angry? Do I feel like I just felt like, oh, I feel bad.
I think our parents, sorry, I was just going to say, I think our parents, like, they think us facing emotions is a luxury.
Yeah.
And it kind of is in a way, but like it's also necessary. It's necessary for our growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask, did you only grow up with your mom? Did you have siblings, other parental figures?
I was 4 days mom, 3 days dad.
Okay.
And I had 2 siblings that were younger than me, 8 years.
Were they full siblings, half siblings?
They're both half,
Okay.
and they were not twins, even though they're both 8 years younger than me.
Interesting. By one of the
They're
parents.
not related.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah. Are you close with them?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. More with my
That's a
sister
big
than
age
with my
gap.
brother. But yeah, it was.
How close are you with your? Because it seems like you've gone on trips with your mom and all of that stuff, so you seem close to her. Are you close to your dad?
Ish. It's been going in waves.
Okay.
It took a huge dip recently because I moved in with my boyfriend and he was like, he freaked out because I was like, wait, I'm 36.
You're a grown ass woman. I know. I was like, what the fuck?
But yeah,
he's like, not my virgin daughter.
Yeah, very religious. And,
Who is very religious?
My dad.
Oh, okay. So I was actually, that's very common. Like, there's a lot of like sweeping feelings under the rug in religious households. Mm-hmm. I've noticed.
Yeah, well,
Big
my
ass-
dad
That was my
wasn't so much
experience, at
sweeping,
least.
But my mom would just like, because my mom had a really traumatic upbringing. And she was dealing with her own version of trauma. And I only realized till later, I was like, oh, she was depressed most of my life. Now she's not. And she's like come into her own.
Yay.
And she's gone to therapy and she's living her best life. I'm so happy for her.
How did she get to the point of going to therapy? Was that something you suggested?
I think her second marriage drove her to it. This is my gut because she doesn't tell me all of the details of things. Like I recently found out from a show when she... like a comic, she was sitting in the front row and a comic basically crowd worked her into admitting that she's received dick pics. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, yeah, you
we do not
posted
talk about
them.
these things.
Oh, so she's on the market.
So, oh yeah. So like so there's certain things that I'm finding out like third hand, or like she'll say yes to a question that somebody else asked.
Okay.
So she like mentioned in passing that she might be going to Thailand with a man for Christmas.
Yeah.
I didn't know the man part. And I was like, but because we don't talk.
So you had no idea that she was dating.
I had an idea.
But it was like, don't ask, don't tell.
Yes.
Basically how it is with my parents and me.
And them
I'll
dating.
share with
Except they're asking now. What'd you say?
I said, and them dating. I'm kidding.
I don't, I found condoms in their closet once in high school. And
I
just
have that
never
joke where I
forget.
found condoms.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I found they were like red. What were the red condoms back in the
I don't know. Red box? I don't know. What is that?
Trojans. I don't know. It wasn't cute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
No, they weren't Lisa
Truly.
Frank condoms. They weren't super cute. No, like
No.
little
Man,
unicorns.
that'd be so
Wouldn't that
it
be
would've
dope?
been-
Lisa Frank
It would have been
condom.
cute if I found them in my drawer, not my parents' drawer. Like,
Oh.
but not even,
No, Kristal and I just exchanged a look like that wouldn't be cute.
Yeah, I was like,
High
pretty
school
young.
self.
Although they'd be like practicing safe sex, so I guess that would be. They're just trying not to have more kids, which is, I think, noble.
Yeah.
Like because considering like they just narcissists always want extensions of themselves.
Yeah,
No shade
that's
to
true.
them,
I
Everyone
don't know.
in
I feel like
entertainment.
I'm pretty narcissistic, and I don't want kids, but I do. I think that extends to social media.
Yeah,
for me.
totally. We all have our
My
outlet,
Twitter
right?
is my baby.
Yeah.
We all create
Yeah.
something.
I did refer to my Instagram account as art recently. and
Oh,
it just
wow.
Came out
Like, actually?
Oh my god, I'm gonna
Wow.
high five you for that because I think, look, fucking, it's all art, man.
But it like literally because I got an email. I'm sure you guys have gotten this where like somebody will reach out to
Capital
you
A.
if you have certain amount of followers. They'll reach out to you to try to get you to like
You become an
endorse
influencer or
yeah,
whatever.
or to like endorse a product that they have,
And
or
they'll pay you
whatever.
something.
Yeah, or they'll give you
Free
Hi,
product.
Zara just came.
She's not in here. She just came. we just
I
sang it.
wherever
wish.
She has a
Yeah.
connection to
Bless her.
Fizza. That's how close they are.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Kristal.
Hi.
When's the last time you came, Zara? Now I'm curious.
She's singing back.
I want to say sometime over the weekend.
Hey.
You
It's
wanna
Monday.
say-
It's Monday,
is
right?
Monday.
Or are you going to say?
I can't keep track anymore.
Okay, all right.
Wow. Okay.
No, not like volume wise.
me.
I just don't know what day it is.
Volume?
It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday
There's
night.
volume to it? Damn.
So,
Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, art.
Sorry.
Oh,
The
my
influencers.
Instagram
I
being
have
art.
you know
Yeah.
my thing.
Oh, okay.
I have a blemish.
Sorry, we gotta switch seats. Hold on
We don't
one
have to make
second.
it a thing. I just was.
All right. So what did you say no to?
Oh
Can I
yeah, so
ask?
then I was telling my boyfriend. Oh yeah, it was leggings. They wanted me to promote their leggings, and I said to my boyfriend, I was like, I don't know, like, should I say yes? They're gonna give me free leggings. I was like, but on the other hand, my Instagram page is art, and I just said it, like,
Yeah.
as if that's been in my mind, like that's how I think about it, and I didn't realize it until I said it out loud. I was
Do you
like,
think
Kristal.
do you think of like comedy as art or business or a mix? Like what's your instinct?
Comedy? I think art first. Yeah.
Okay.
Who gets into
Art
comedy
first.
for the business of comedy? People want to get laid.
Actors,
Because
actors,
Good point.
but I think
actors,
like,
singers,
That's true. I think
Instagram
we're,
models.
we're forced to make it a business,
Oh,
and then you have
absolutely.
to like everybody's always thinking about monetizing everything, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Fuck, get me out of it."
Well,
Yeah.
it's called
but I think
it's
also we
called
have to,
show
like,
business
make
for a
money,
reason.
you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so hard is we have to put like our heart and our soul into like fucking this work to like, play in the big leagues, ideally. And then it's just like, okay, well, how do we pay our bills?
lost
Wait,
myself.
hold on, Kristal. Are you an ambassador for leggings? Wait, what did I miss?
No, they
I missed
offered
something.
to do it, and she
Yes.
said no because
And I
her
said-
Instagram is art.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
See, Zara thinks it's also business, partially.
I mean, if you could make a living and make real money out of being a comedian, I'm all for it.
She's wearing a
I'm
blazer
also-
as she speaks.
Yes, this is me coming from my day job wearing a blazer.
And
Make that
jeans.
money.
Blazer
Make
and
that
jeans.
money.
Casual
Oh, yeah.
Monday.
No, I mean the corporate world has become very casual, and it's LA, and like half the office was, like away, like not in the office because LA is ablaze right now, so like no one was
true.
in the
Can't even
office.
get there.
Turquoise socks.
It's fire season,
Oh, you got
whatever.
a pop sock?
yeah.
Yeah, I got.
Nice.
We're millennials. We define our own.
I got a pop sock.
I think I got a pop sock going on. It's like,
do not have.
yeah,
Wait,
Is that a thing?
Turquoise.
Are we
God,
showing?
I got
flowers?
turquoise
We
sock
got
too.
turquoise
What?
socks.
All of us have turquoise
It's
socks.
happening.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
sorry,
actually
relax.
got these socks from a comedy show. So
Oh,
Zeitgeist.
You are
So it is
getting
a business.
Wait, you're getting clothing from doing comedy?
Oh yeah, Blackberry Jam.
Oh, they give a cute
They
little
give a
gift
little
bag.
gift bag.
Yeah, we
yeah.
gotta make a spreadsheet not just of the shows, but the shows that give shit away, and then that's how we earn our
Okay,
keep.
the best clothing I ever received at a comedy show was granny panties.
What
What?
kind of show is that?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Sally Mullins, really funny comedian who's been doing comedy for decades.
You're doing a show with her next show.
Oh, I think
I
so.
call
Might be
her.
dropped.
I call her my comedy auntie, and whenever I see her, she
She
like.
gave you panties?
Yeah, she gave me granny panties. I think for
Your
doing her.
size?
They
Or
were
did you
my size.
parachute with
No, they
them
were definitely
somewhere?
my size.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
like, this is nice. You know,
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cute.
That's
Granny
the only
panties.
thing I'm monetizing on right now. Granny
Zara's
panties.
coming more than everyone, and she's wearing granny panties from
I
Sally.
mean, I don't.
She doesn't need to stunt anymore.
I'm not wearing panties when I'm coming. Like
Okay.
no one
Oh,
is, you know. Like you shouldn't be doing. You're not doing it right if you are. I
I
don't
know
know.
some people are into stuff. Some people are into pull
Liz
you.
is taking notes. She's like, what?
I know how to fuck.
No, I mean,
There's that anger.
granny panties are like period day panties anyway, right? And like no.
Yeah,
if you-
totally.
if you're
Yeah.
really
Like
good at
stain
planning,
panties.
sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
or like I
I
haven't.
basically wear granny panties like a lot because I'm not fucking. So
They're
So you gotta be
also
like in the mindset. You gotta just walk
I
around.
gotta wear the panties. I gotta
G-string,
wear the
fucking-
panties I want to see in the
Fucking
world.
Yeah,
Polly
yeah.
the Stallion.
yes.
You don't even. Why are you wearing pants? All you
Dress
gotta wear
for
is
the
pants,
job
bitch.
you want.
I love that.
Dress for
Pallavi
the
the-
blowjob you
the-
want.
the-
actually.
Maybe
Stallion or the whatever you wanna be.
Pallavi panties. I feel like this could be a line.
Ooh.
Palavanti? No, that's
Dress for the blowjob
pant-
you want.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
blowjob.
You know what? That's a great. Can I make that? So I have a guide for guys, which is basically just like tips for men to be better humans. Can I use that?
yeah.
Dress for the blowjob you want.
Oh my god.
This
Beautiful.
got really dirty. The moment I
When
walked,
she walked in, the moment Zara
Don't
came,
let the
everything
blazer
got
fool
dirty.
you, right?
Oh my god, you guys! The interesting
She's got
dichotomy of
baguettes
my
and
day.
Shit, fucking Jackie O in this bitch.
I have
Why are you
baguettes?
always
Oh.
put together? Like when do you
I'm
sleep?
What are
coming
those
from
called?
work. These are
I know,
baguettes.
I'm giving you a hard
Baguettes?
time.
That's what they're
No.
called.
It's so funny.
If it was like,
I'm like in awe.
no, if this was
How do
like cornerstones, they would be back. I don't know. I'm wearing stud
How do you wash
earrings.
your hair?
I was like,
I know
what?
nothing.
How does she have
about-
time to wash
This
her
is
hair?
dry shampoo. This
Oh.
is
I feel
I
like I
washed
should
my
baguettes
hair
French.
3 days
I should
ago.
know.
Yeah,
It is
you should
wash
know
day.
that,
Yeah. Sorry, we're
having
talking about Kristal. What?
Good luck editing
Leggings.
this.
All right. So
Sorry.
these leggings. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Okay,
care.
so we're
Like-
moving on from the leggings.
So there was some. Okay, so actually, there was an event this weekend. Where were you? Oh, you were
yeah.
out of town. Pallavi, were you out of town?
Yeah, what happened?
The sis. How are you feeling?
Oh,
little
yeah, I was
support
out of
group.
town.
Sis, how are you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was by Jill Chrissy?
by
or-
Jill
Yeah.
Chrissy
Yeah.
and Kristal Adams.
Oh, you both hosted it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. How? What was it? How'd it go?
It
How
was
many people
really
were there?
cool. A support group. Jill was
Yeah.
sort of leading it. Crystal hosted it. I carried a bunch of water. So I did some
Did
shit
people were
too.
people like sharing, or was this like?
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the topics. Do you remember some of the topics were like? I think.
We talked about ageism.
Yeah.
I remember that. We talked about was it mental health or there was something else that somewhat got related to mental health. I'm not
Ageism has
sure.
been something like I think we can like, you know, what did
Yeah, I mean, I actually came out of that very inspired because it was such a
great.
great group of women, and everybody. It actually, I think, I don't know what the objective was aside from bless you, aside from making us all feel better, but it made me feel like I was not alone. You
Yes.
know, like a lot of the problems and the aggressions and the not so microaggressions I have just being a woman in comedy, a woman of color in Hollywood and in comedy, like I felt like it was kind of shared across
Yeah.
the board. So
Yeah, I mean, I
cool.
think that was the objective, is
Yeah.
for people to not feel alone. Like, okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy here, but I really am
it.
obsessed with Malcolm Gladwell's podcast.
I love Malcolm
Yes.
Gladwell,
Yeah.
Revisionist History.
Yeah, I
Yes.
listen to it like every week. It's
So
great.
there's an episode, I think in the, not this last season, but the one before, about Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh yeah.
And in the middle of the podcast, he references this study that was done. It's sort of unrelated to Sammy Davis Jr., but he does this. There's a study that was done, like I think around the 70s, when women started going into the workplace. So they did a study on this one company, and because they were like, we hired all these women, but they're not thriving, like they're not doing well, and we don't know why. So a woman came in and she did the research and like went across the country and interviewed people. And her main finding that she told them was, yeah, you need to address this and this, but the main issue is that you didn't hire enough women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's this like psychological phenomenon that happens
Tokenism.
within
Yeah.
tokenism, where you end up naturally to survive selling out your own people as like a way to
Or
like,
isolating.
or isolating. Yeah, we talked about
We've
this
talked
before.
about this before.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, but
Sorry.
it is sort of a survival mechanism, though, So I know, but
Yeah.
I know
We've
you brought
talked
this
about
up.
this before.
It's come up
Having
and
reference.
I'm not going to go into who the people are.
You
had
know
a-
who they are.
You know who they are.
Yeah, but
That
I
are
know who
all of a
they
sudden
are.
talking about them being brown in the past 2 years because it's
Oh, okay,
cool to
that's
do it now.
I get
you know?
it. But
Freaking getting awards and shit for finally telling the truth about who their parents are and whatever. Anyway,
We're
thank
all
you.
mad. I
But
think we're
it's-
all mad.
I
I
mean,
came in
thank
here.
you.
But the point is that it happens to all those people in those positions, right?
Yeah,
it's not
I
just
can
their
understand
fault.
it.
It's a survival,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it's not like, they don't have a job. That's not going to help any of us either.
Yeah,
And now
to-
they're doing it.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah.
but to be fair, I don't know what I would do if I was in that position. I don't know if I would create a community for people like me to feel comfortable, kind of move and send the elevator back down,
'cause we
or
are.
if I would just try to like hold on to what I have.
I
you
mean, we're
know,
sort of
in
doing
fear
that
of
right
losing
now.
it, you know?
Yeah,
Sort
but
of
they
doing that
they
now.
were ahead of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
so
but
it's like
they're
we
like
weren't in that position.
they're like a decade and a half, almost 2 decades
Yeah.
ahead of us for some of them. So
Yeah.
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 So you guys talked about that in the
Well, I just think that the experience that she's talking about in terms of like not feeling alone, like I think we really need that in order for us to create like an environment where all different types of female comics can thrive.
yeah.
Because what happened for so long was like it was a certain type that could thrive because those were the ones that could handle being either alone or being, like
Yeah.
the
Or
only
Being one of the
woman.
guys,
Yes.
The ones who could adapt and and
Right.
survive in that like shark-like environment.
And I think it needs to be less okay for people to say, oh, you can't adapt to this very male environment, then you should get out. I think that shouldn't be. But that's what was happening, and that's what still happens. Like if we say things where we're challenging like how this environment feels for us, they're like, well, then don't do stand up. And it's like, yes, all of this is clearly optional, but it's like, does that make you a better comic if me like some really talented comic stops doing comedy just because she didn't feel comfortable, right? That doesn't make us all better when we lose people that could have been or
That's
were
sad.
great.
I love
And
that.
that's
Yeah.
I've seen this happen to like some really, really talented women, and it makes me
Yeah.
so sad.
It's so sad.
because that like it's like you are holding back your greatness, like you have a gift. And because everything else overshadows that gift, like people just
And
walk
we're
away.
losing out. Audiences
Yeah.
are losing out.
Yeah.
Us as artists, we're not being pushed further, we're not being challenged,
Yeah.
And it's also like a lot of these women were like persecuted
Yeah.
and like pushed
Bullied,
out of the
bullied.
business. Yeah. And like intimidated. And it's like, when is that behavior okay? And also if you have to do that to defend your place, then maybe you don't deserve your place.
Yeah.
And that just sort of expectation to shut up and take it, like it's infuriating.
It is infuriating.
I'm angry again. Like it's just
And I don't want comedy to be a place where like psychopaths can thrive. Like every industry has its psychopaths, but the way it is now, the rhetoric that we have around it, it's like it really allows a lot of
like
psychopaths.
Actors who sexually assault people are coming into comedy because they feel safer doing that here.
Yes.
Do you mean that?
Exactly.
Oh man,
That's
yeah.
fun.
Comedy seems to be the place, like where people just go, like, oh, I have a scandal in this part of my life.
Yes.
Let me go be a stand-up comedian.
Let me walk into the night.
Yes.
Who's like
the latest?
Let me be a part of the darkness.
And it's so dangerous.
Who's the latest?
It's so dangerous.
Can we name names?
Ali Wong talked about this on, I think she was on like Ellen or something, but she was talking about like all of the harm that came within her first few years of doing comedy. And that bitch survived, and I love that she's like talking about it. She's like, I succeeded despite this. It should not be there.
It should
like,
not.
yeah.
Ali said this amazing thing that a lot of people outside comedy don't realize. And I think she was on Trevor Noah recently, and she said, another Caucasian male comic came up to her. She was pregnant with her second one, so she had already had the success.
That's the one that I think I'm talking about.
She already had the success from her first special. I think it was Baby Cobra or something. The one where she's wearing the zebra print with her first and her first
Always
pregnancy.
wearing animal prints.
She was wearing animal prints, which I brought up during
you
the
brought that
workshop.
up.
But so like this male comic just came up to her and like grabbed her stomach and was like, "Oh, is this your shtick now? Is this your thing?" And he said something along the lines with it's great. I'm glad you're doing so well. Like you found your thing and you realize you're doing well because you're a woman of color and you got your pregnancy shtick and whatever.
So undermining her talent.
And she was like,
and work ethic and everything else.
she was like, because historically women of color being pregnant have always had the road to success,
Right.
And so he was just angry with where he was with his situation. He was blaming him being white and male not getting the opportunity. And she was like, what are you talking about? Like, we could be here for days just listing like all the white guys who are successful. Just be a more talented white guy. Like, why?
This is like a side thing, but like I was at this wedding of my friends this weekend, and they're all like these nerds who are doing very well. They're in like tech and all of this stuff, and they're earning all this money. And like I happened to take a plane ride with two of them, and I like just talked to them about like the causes I care about and like why we say like men are trash and I hate white people and all that stuff, and like how that exists within a system of oppression that matters and that historical context matters. But it was difficult to talk to them about it because they're in this like bubble, and although their politics are often very aligned with mine, like just discussing it was so hard for me, like even though I'm so mad, because I was like, this is alienating to them because they don't have this all the time, this anger in their life. And I'm so angry now that I'm closer to injustice because my world has opened up more. And I feel like it's my responsibility to like convey that inside those bubbles, but it's also like they need to just listen and absorb, but it's really hard to get people to accept it, especially when they're not that close to injustice. I feel like a lot of the Bay Area is just like this tech bubble where they can just like pay to like hide any pain from them. And I don't know, I think that's one of the beauties of comedy is that we get to like penetrate that, but
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, it just makes me so mad.
we kind of touched on this during the workshop over the weekend where we were talking about our experiences, and this one woman was talking to her boyfriend who just didn't understand that why is Louis C.K. just what he did it wasn't that bad. Like it was
hard to grasp like
it was hard to,
how it's what the trauma is and how it
then she
hurts
had
the
to,
women.
So then she had to explain it from her point of view. Like imagine if someone did this to me. How would you how would you then feel? Like
in order for him to empathize, he had to like put a person in his life.
Yeah.
Like he had to be like,
really
you care about me. What if this
how
happened?
people distance themselves
Like,
from these
even
things.
Asher, my boyfriend, we were talking about like, just he's like, why don't you go up at the Laugh Factory? I'm like, what women's faces have you seen on the marquee at the Laugh Factory? And he's like, oh shit, yeah, they're all celebrity. Yeah, they're all celebrities. Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like it just. he's now like after 2.5 years, he's now starting to realize like what I'm up against. Whereas a lot of guys don't. They're like, why? You're great. Like you're funny. You'll make it. You're working just as hard. I'm like, no, I don't know if I will make it. I will try my best, and I think I want to, and it's on my vision board. But if all these obstacles are in front of me, and in a system that is made for the male comic, the talented male comic to thrive, and like the mediocre male comic to fail upwards, and be given second and third and fourth and 15 chances to succeed, whereas women have to show up and be the best almost every time.
Yeah.
And women of color have to be exceptional.
There was
to like get to reach the failing upward.
Yeah.
I don't want to take I don't want to be cynical, but it's just like historically it's been in personal history it's been tough.
With all of that like against us, we're all killing it, and Kristal's killing it.
Kristal's been doing amazing.
Kristal's doing amazing.
Thank you.
There was
but it's required.
Yeah.
There was one time I was walking on the sidewalk with my then boyfriend, and someone catcalled me like super gross, and I like just kept walking, and I was like, "You heard that, right?" And he was like, "What?" Like literally right next to me. They don't see it if it's not targeting them. And
I'm
then
surprised though he wasn't paying attention to like
a lot of them don't look for it. Like they're not like just walking on the sidewalk. Men are not as aware as women.
Didn't even notice.
They're not programmed to hear catcalls.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, speaking of failing upwards, did you guys see that Game of Thrones Twitter thread about how the David Benioff and Dan, what's his face, the people who made Game of Thrones, how they went, they basically had this panel where they like talked about how they went in and pitched to HBO and how little they had, how they didn't know what they were doing, how they only pitched part of the pilot, how they didn't include, they only had one woman writer for a couple of the a couple of the series because they only wanted to write it themselves because they didn't know they were supposed to have more like the amount like after, if you look at it's a Twitter thread that's like like this big thing that went viral, but it's like the amount of the amount of leeway they were given was insane, and it was crazy.
What are their past credits?
Do they have,
I don't know. It was not nearly. If you look at the thread, I don't know what their past credits were, but if you look at the thread, they literally it looks like they had the way they were answering questions, they had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
This is exactly why I get really frustrated with. Look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna take any opportunity that comes my way, but I do get very upset with how many like contests and fellowships and like hoops that people make you like go through in order and it's always, minorities that have got to go through them. It's just like
and you're inherently pitted against each other.
Yeah. And I'm like, these guys, I'm like, what? They didn't have to write an essay about their grandmother who died in slavery. You know what I mean? Like,
because they inherited their grandmother's house or trust funds or whatever, right? So we inherited our grandparents' struggles and they inherited their well.
So they literally are creating a version of Hunger Games.
Yeah.
With these little fellowships and stuff.
Do you think they're sitting by and watching and enjoying it a little bit?
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's all, I was talking to my friend about like affirmative action, and she was like, I like the idea of it, but how it's implemented is weird. And I'm like, well, maybe that's because there are white people at the top not taking the right people in, right? Because like in shows, when it's like a male comic who's booking who doesn't know female comics, he'll book any fucking placeholder rather than knowing female comics and which ones deserve.
Oh my God, this happens all the freaking time.
And there's no interest in knowing.
It's like white people or men in charge of these things.
I put four. and then it's like, I put 4 girls on my show last time. They sucked. I'm like, which 4 girls? Like, there are like 50 like women who are so talented and can destroy any room.
That's way more.
I could just give you this list.
There's so many fucking comedians.
And you're going to give it to like the 4 Instagram models whose agents told them to try stand up and they're 2 months into comedy. Why? Like,
that's wonderful.
What? That's
you're
really
do
fucked
4
up.
of them on one show? Like, that's on that booker.
On my show,
that booker. That's an idiot booker.
On my show for the men, I'm gonna book like Logan Paul or some shit. So
who's Logan Paul?
He's a fucking awful YouTuber.
Yeah.
He YouTubed a dead man's body.
Oh my
before.
God.
No,
Get like a porn star.
This is the thing is like
those
I
people
don't
are
even
doing stand-up
care.
now, too.
It's just like I would love it if more people were like paid attention to their own bias and then accounted for their bias by getting other sources of input. Because the thing is because comedy is subjective, I am not going to be able to reach this, white. I'm probably not going to be his cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right. So like, how do you get past that, and how do you book so that the people in your audience whose experiences
Exposure.
aren't like yours are related to when they come to see a show?
Exposure,
I think.
and it's someone who has the influence and the celebrity name behind them, to like vouch for you.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
platform?
the way you get
Unfortunately,
through that,
we don't
yeah.
have that either, right? Like I have, girlfriends and guy friends who are not people of color, and they're getting pulled up way faster than any of us in this room, and it makes me very frustrated.
Yeah, because the people in power, the system was not created
they
for
get
us.
invited to the parties.
Yep.
They're there, like and
They're
it's like-
white.
yeah, and
They're male.
Even though a lot of people are frustrated, like, oh, all the co-star roles are for people of color, ethnically ambiguous, blah blah blah. We have one line. We have one line. Okay, like, where have you been the last 2 decades? Like,
Yeah.
Also, if you
know?
just look at the numbers, it's still an
Yeah.
issue. Like, just look at the numbers.
Yeah. So
But you know, with that
I don't
whole
know.
situation with Laughing Skull, because they
Oh,
had
yeah.
to, they had to end
so for our
address
listeners-
it.
That was outrageous.
Our listeners, Laughing Skull is this comedy. I guess it's
Festival.
a comedy festival in
It's
Atlanta.
a comedy festival. It's also a club, so the
Yeah.
festival shares the name of the club as well.
In Atlanta, which
In
is
Atlanta.
a very diverse city.
In Atlanta, with a high population of Black women, very
Yep.
high.
And how many did they have?
For their festival,
Yeah,
they
none,
initially
right?
accepted 0,
Zero
Yeah.
black
which was
women.
made clear mostly by the fact that they put everybody's pictures on the poster.
And they lied about how many people submitted, how many black
a
women
lineup,
So they
submitted.
said
How
that
many?
people didn't, and then they were like, I did.
Yeah.
How many were on the lineup?
I don't
It
know.
was like
I'm
30,
sure like
30 or
around-
40.
Yeah.
30,
for-
40, 50,
like
something
that.
around there. But in Atlanta, you're saying people called them out,
Yeah.
right? And then they're
So
like,
then they addressed it.
did they apologize?
Oh yeah,
There
they
was an
had-
apology, right?
There was several apologies. There was actually a town hall, and they had kind of like this come to Jesus moment with people in the Black community in comedy, telling them this is what you need to do to address the incident itself, and then your issues going forward. And so, in the first thing that they made them do in addressing the public in this like apology was coming out with the racial and ethnic backgrounds of the people who make the decisions.
Oh,
they made
hell
them say
yeah.
it. That was the first thing they made them say.
Whoa,
And
what was it?
Was it all white guys?
Yes, well, it
Yes,
wasn't all
it
white
was.
guys,
It
but
looked
there were
like
no black
Congress.
people.
There were no people of color.
So that's
at
the
all.
issue. Is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
are if there's no diversity at the top, then how are they going to prioritize
Right,
diversity?
and so then that was
right?
the other thing is that that's one of their steps moving forward is making sure that there is a Black woman who is a part of the team making decisions like along with the other ones. It's very interesting. It's like my policy about like weddings. It's like if your Black friend is sitting down at your wedding, your DJ's fired. You know what I'm saying? Like we will take care of
so
you. Like
funny.
pay attention to us.
That
like
is so funny.
Man.
so.
That's great, actually. That's a good
so
litmus
funny.
test if your wedding's popping or not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you play the wobble? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Shout out
I
to
need
Vic.
a wobble.
That's great.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
raspy
I
right
hope
now.
I hope it changes. I hope.
I think it has. I mean, the thing is I planned I applied 2 years ago. I didn't get in. I was like, well, fuck that. I'm not gonna like waste another $50. It's $50 to apply to that festival.
That's an expensive
I think it's
one.
$35 if you get it really early. But
And isn't it really like all done through reps and shit?
No. Well,
I think it's open submission.
I think it's open.
Well, there's open submission, but a lot of
I mean,
placement
yeah.
There's
is
a lot of industry who goes
there's a lot of
there that they're
relationships.
trying to. That's why people are attracted to that festival because they're trying to get representation.
It's a festival
So-
like that. I think Big Sky. These are
Yes,
very
exactly. And
industry-related
they kind of,
festivals
like-
where they do
Exactly.
Cherry JFL. They're industry showcases. So yeah, they're open
trying
to
to
the
move
public.
up.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yes, it's going to be a
people-
very steep application process.
I would say it's like one of the top 5 comedy festivals to go to.
Yeah.
To like help progress your career and be seen and all of that.
You know, but
Yeah.
me on like, okay, so 2 years ago, I apply, I don't get in. And so the next year I'm not applying, and I'm not going to apply the year after that, right? So at some point I'm like, who's looking at the rates of the decline of Black female women who are applying? Because we're looking at your festival lineups to see how many did you let in. Okay, am I going to apply to this one? And I bet you if somebody did the stats, they would just see a steady decline of Black females even just like applying to the festival in the first place, because they're like, oh, they don't want us there in the first place.
I'm gonna hedge your bets.
Honestly, I don't think any of the festivals are keeping data like that.
Oh no, none of them.
Maybe JFL.
They're not
maybe.
responsible to report to anybody because
Yeah.
they're all private. Almost
Why would
none
you
of them
say
are
JFL?
nonprofits.
Maybe
they're not.
because it's like they probably have the data.
It's just more organized.
And then it's more organized, and it's one of the biggest festivals, you know.
Maybe if they pulled it,
and maybe it's something that they're conscious of, and they're pulling that data.
I mean,
maybe
let's hope.
because it's like industry is coming there for specific things, right? So
Yeah.
maybe they're actually keeping track of data, like the submission data.
Most of these
and stuff.
festivals, they're not responsible to anybody.
Yeah.
All they have to do is make sure like that the numbers add up at the end of the year, like tax wise. They don't have to. They're not like Apple, like who we can go in and be like, how many CEOs did you have? Like, did you even? They're
It's
not
like
that.
I mean, it's like booking shows.
It's
right?
like not on
all
their
in charge
radar,
of the
so-
booker. The booker is the main person, and if that person doesn't give a shit about
accountability.
diversity or
They don't have to account.
or thinks that it's diverse by getting white women,
Who
then,
called them out? Because
or
that
brunettes, they're like, that's diversity.
that's so important. Who called them out? Because if
I
no
think
one called them out,
people
they'll
were
just keep doing
posting
it.
about it.
So,
Women,
yeah.
Black women, I think, were posting.
Several
about it.
Black
I saw
women.
it
Yeah.
on one of the comedy gal groups.
Yeah,
I love
they
those
were
groups
directly,
sometimes.
But it went
going-
viral, right?
Yeah.
They were directly going at them, and then somebody wrote an article in Vulture or a paper. I forget which one of those. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
People have been doing that with the clubs, like Twitter accounts and stuff too. They've been trying to go at them, but I don't know if that's
I saw
been
that with
doing
Laugh Factory, but
It's
then the next
actually-
day they had another flyer with all dudes. So it is.
But you know what?
it
I
is.
think I don't know if it's going to change behavior for them, but all the comics know about it. All the
Yeah.
comics who are there know about it, and the ones that care to like make a difference, or the ones that know and have shows there and know they're on the wrong side of it, they're actually trying to like help, or like
That's what
if
it-
they can do something, they're like recommending women or putting women on the new faces like referral lists, and like they're doing
But
whatever
that's-
they can.
that's
We're
what
our biggest
bookers should-
allies.
But
Yeah.
that's what
Our-
bookers
our own
should be
big-
doing. They like it is their job to find the talent, to develop the talent, and to create shows
They
that
don't
will
care.
appeal. But that's like their whole fucking job.
No.
Well, there's,
Like,
that's
they're-
where how we
they're-
evolved. Like they need to, they need to evolve with
They need to
society
be
and understand that
better
there's other
at-
voices. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the job I think for all bookers has just become fill seats.
Well, why do you? That's why women
Definitely
of
in
color
LA.
Yeah.
we're the most entrepreneurial group in fucking America, because the system was so not built for us that we have to create our own shit. Otherwise, we're gonna get like just straight like undercut all the time.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
But like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, it's just like we all have our own shit. If you look
Yeah.
at like the comedy scene, and I'm not even gonna say who called this out, but like in the meeting, we were talking a lot about branding. Like our
Yeah.
show came up,
Yeah.
your stuff, whatever. And like they were a lot of questions about like, wait, how do you how do you create like your own shit basically came up. And it was like from white women.
Oh wow!
It was a lot from white women, and I think it's because
Oh, I thought that
We
I
have
thought that
to-
was a women of color group. I didn't realize it was everybody.
it was
yeah, it was.
all
I
women.
love that it was inclusive.
Yeah.
but I think it is important to acknowledge that extra layer of marginalization in the existing system.
Yeah. I mean, I had to take a step back at like 2 years in and be like, I think the problem is a lot of times we put blinders on because we like we don't want to believe that these other factors beyond talent matter.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you are playing a lottery. And so when I realized, oh, the game that I was playing isn't the game that is being actually played. Like the
Yeah.
people that are rising up and succeeding at this are playing a different game than what I was told.
That's
Yeah.
like how I feel now. I'm in
Yeah.
my transition period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a business. It's a business, and people who
Huh?
can understand.
Everybody, y'all were a little bit hesitant.
No.
But
Okay.
yes, it is.
So Allie
it's
said
art.
this. Allie Wong said this on her interview with Trevor, and she said, "Fuck." Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, she said for women, a comedy is hard because because of all the things that we have to do and endure and put up with and deal with and learn how to navigate before even getting on stage. Like getting on stage and doing jokes and being funny, like that's the fun part.
Yes.
That's the fun, rewarding part of it. But like everything else, it's a safety concern. It's like a wage gap. It's like all this other shit that we have to deal with.
Navigating men who want to fuck you. There's so many people I know who are like, I'm going to take this woman on the road because I want to fuck her. I'm not going to take this woman on the road because I want to fuck her. I'm going to take this woman on the road because I might want to fuck. Like, why is that even a factor?
And it's the primary factor.
And that's shit that we don't
thing.
even see, that they're never going to admit to people.
Oh, they admit it.
They don't admit it to a lot of people. A lot of men are like, that doesn't happen. And then they do it themselves.
There's some that admit it. And then the problem right now, and maybe it won't be in another generation or so, but it's all the men who are nationally touring headliners who can take you, right? The women who are nationally touring headliners, they're either celebrities or if they are nationally touring, a lot of the bookers in the clubs that they work at, they don't want more than one woman on the lineup, or they don't want 2 or 3 or an all-female lineup, unless it's like our showcase type of show.
It seems odd to them that they would have more than one. Like they're like, what is this? A diversity showcase?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we have one, and they'll usually put her in the middle so it looks balanced.
They're even trying to fucking Eiffel Tower our comedy show.
Yeah, seriously.
Disgusting.
Seriously, I mean,
They're running a train on us at the show. Disrespectful.
The celebrity, like the women who are doing really, really well, like the 5 women who are touring stand-up, celebrity, well-known names, they all have guys who are openers or features or hosts for them. And sure, they'll have on a woman here and there, but I mean, we're not the go-to. You know, we're not like in the go-to roster, which is unfortunate. So.
It's just like we're not the status quo. Like no one's thinking about balance, like equal. Like the idea of just even having a woman in the room is just like so novel that like no one's thinking 50-50, like half women on the lineup. Like what? What kind of show is this?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's fucking annoying.
It'll happen. I think we're complaining about it enough, or maybe we're just complaining about it enough in our own podcast.
No, but I do.
Hey, Laugh Factory bookers, can you hear us? Are you?
Are you listening to this? Probably not.
Hello?
Someone might send them the episode if someone listens and they're like, ooh. You know,
yeah, they're like, I want to book these bitches complaining.
Because all it takes is like, an idea, motivation to do it. So
You just need a really good soundbite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, get it in the right hands.
All right. How are we doing on time?
I think we're like 55 minutes.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so should
That's
we
my internal
do
comic.
our last? Yeah, you got the timing right. Should we do our last few questions?
Yeah, man.
Is there anything else? Any other anger you want to, or
What are your
sensitivities,
macro aggressions that you'd like to share on this Monday evening?
I keep mostly to myself. I think I have like I look like I will blow a whistle on anything and anyone at any time. So like, people kind of leave me alone, which is nice.
I've never experienced someone say they're a whistleblower.
Yeah, I think
that's
but I think people that's what my face looked like. Like, oh, she probably gonna tell on me. Like, I think
you have HR lady face.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I am Linda. Thank you.
I put Kristal in a work. I'm writing a workplace sketch, and I put Kristal as our HR
Yes,
lady.
exactly. Thank you.
I'm
love
fine
you
with that. Like that,
But I mean, I'm glad for it because I don't have to put up with a lot of bullshit. But I do. It's normal things like people, I guess it fits with the podcast, but I often get mistaken for Katrina.
Katrina Davis.
Yes.
Also funny woman in comedy.
You're giving us like
Which, you know
booking
what?
ideas right now.
Like, there are way worse people. I mean, I love Katrina. She's super funny.
But we want to do like a show with
Yes.
with you and you and you and you and you. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, you and Katrina and like give me like 4 other comics.
Well, every now and then, Jill, not so much, but like it happens. It's happened, like Jill. But like we will message each other if somebody else has given us a compliment on a recent set.
Yeah,
that we know we
yeah.
weren't. at.
What's the verb? What's the verb now? Getting facial recognition. It's kind of a verb now, right?
It is for people who are fans of the show. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't really bother me, that part. I mean, what really bothers me is the macro stuff that we were talking about, like all of the added up injustices that we can't really talk about a lot because we don't want to. It's like a dual injustice. There's the injustice itself, and then there's the silencing because you don't feel the comfortability to talk about it because nobody's going to empathize
It's
with you.
uncomfortable.
And they feel like you're being a complaining bitch.
And then there's the work of having to repair what other people have broken.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Yeah. Well, so I made that mistake earlier on where I would like vent to one of my girlfriends, and she has a completely different experience than I do because she's not a woman of color. And she was like, well, I can't help you with that. What do you want me to do? That sucks. I guess it's just the way it is. You know?
Do you
And
know
that's
do you remember
going to
what
be the response for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Do you remember like what you brought up with her?
I think it was just like, it was just like there aren't other people. Like she's like, well, why don't you just ask Russell to open for him? I'm like, you want me to ask the most successful comedian in the world who only does arenas of 20,000 people or more? You want me 3 years into comedy to ask him if I can open for him?
Yeah, that's
What? And she's like, why not? He loves you. And I'm like, what? I would never do that.
Yes.
You know? Like, why? Like, and that's why she's like, oh, I get it. Oh, that sucks. So
That's like,
you know,
tell her to ask like Dave Chappelle. Or,
exactly. So it was just like, and at that point, she understood where I was coming from, you know, but then she was also like, why don't you just like, you know, not be a bitch to people?
Damn.
Because I'm not the one who's like going up and like letting everybody hug me and stuff like that too, you know, like I'm very like, I'm like, I'll talk to everybody in groups and stuff and I keep it professional all the time, but like that stuff doesn't get you booked right off of like an initial meeting, you know? So anyway.
That's true.
Sloppy cheek kisses.
Yeah.
Everyone's going in for.
No, I can't do it.
I've been getting a lot of side hugs from guys.
Oh,
Yeah, side hugs
interesting.
are okay.
I've gotten the like where the hug where they make their body like concave. It's like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
the
I was
Muslim
like,
hug is what we
like. What is this?
we joke around and call it the Muslim hug
Muslim hug.
because in the Muslim culture you're always trying to keep your genitals as far away from each other as possible.
Oh, that's funny.
Should we give Kristal our
Let's do our questions.
Okay.
Who is your favorite South Asian celebrity?
Oh, that's so good. Actually, my actual favorite comedian, and I guess he's a celebrity because a lot of people know him, Hari Kondabolu.
Oh,
I love Hari
Hari.
Kondabolu. Yes.
wow, that's interesting.
I love. Like he's my
He's great.
Wow.
He's so smart and funny. And
So like matches the anger and intensity over injustice with punchlines, which is so fucking hard.
it is so hard, and he does it so well.
So hard.
Yeah.
And
That's a great
That's
answer.
awesome.
I love
And
that
then
answer.
Our other question is, this is a safe space. Do you have any like questions that you might think would be too dumb to ask people from our cultures that you've always wondered?
Oh, this is hard for me.
Like anything you saw someone do when you were a kid where you're like, do they do that or do all of them do that? like
That
There's no such thing as a
a-
dumb question, but
it's
this
a
will be
safe
on the
space.
internet forever.
It will be
and
on the
people love
internet
to cancel
forever.
people. Daddy.
don't discourage her.
No, you will not get
saying.
canceled for anyone listening.
We
by
will
us.
be we will be the Chris Rock in the room with you saying the N word.
anyone
That
listening
went
25
viral.
years from now, do not cancel Kristal.
She said
Okay.
sand.
give me.
She
Okay,
is in brown face, which is weird.
Can you give me an example of something somebody's asked you that might trigger?
Somebody asked me about last week. Harper asked about who wears bindies and the forehead sticker or dot or
On our
whatever.
last episode.
She
Okay.
asked about like who like or do you wear that when you get married, etc. Like and like yeah.
Any question about the
Or-
culture. It doesn't have to be dumb. It could just be like, it could be a very, in-depth, intelligent
but the problem
question.
is, and this is one of something I'm working on. I am not a very curious person.
That's cool
Really?
too.
I know.
She don't give a fuck. That's
I love that about you.
don't care
That's so funny to me.
I love that about you.
That's so funny to me because you're so aware. So you
No,
don't
it's
have.
'cause she doesn't give a fuck.
No. She's so aware, and she like because you're like very knowledgeable about a lot of things. So it's funny to me that you just like absorb it without being curious.
I kind of want to just like leave it on like she doesn't give a fuck and like what are your social medias?
She likes you
Where
for
do we
you,
find
man.
She doesn't see color.
She likes you for you. She hates you for you. You know.
Brown
she's-
fish? She didn't even know she was in brown fish.
Doesn't even
No
matter.
color. Colorblind. Where are you
All
on
right.
the internet, girl?
The Dark Crystal.
No, we have to say it. How does he say it? Girl.
My French boyfriend
Yeah.
says that.
He says that?
Yeah.
Yes, he says it.
Girl.
The Dark Crystal. That's
He is
KR.
so cute, by the way. Your French boyfriend is so cute.
He baked us cookies.
He's cute.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, at her show.
At one of my
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't remember that at the thing.
She used to do a show called Milk and Cookies. It was
Sweatpants.
amazing.
Oh,
Sweatpants.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, cookies and sweatpants.
Mhm.
Okay,
Girl,
sorry.
it's okay. It's
But
the
there was
show's
milk
over.
there. I remember there was milk and cookies before my.
Do you
set.
drink milk? Are you like the only adult who can drink milk?
Oh,
No, I need lactate.
yeah. What?
Can you drink milk?
I can drink a specific kind of milk. It's like has to be not. I don't know what the word is, but whatever they do to it.
Pasteurized?
normally-
Non-pasteurized.
I don't know. It's
Or
called Fairlife. That one doesn't mess me up.
Yeah,
It's very expensive.
Yeah, that
unfortunately.
one too. Yeah, so I just don't really drink milk.
Yeah. hmm
Okay, you're at the Dark Crystal.
I'm at the Dark Crystal.
KRISTAL.
Yes, it's
There we
spelled with a
go.
K and an I.
Where can they find your
Oh,
Music
no.
videos.
Oh, yeah.
Music video.
Oh, I can ask you guys this. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so this was something that I was concerned about. And it's more like, I mean, it's like, I think I used images like from like Muslim, like they were like Muslim.
So you did a music
Yeah, I
video
did a music
that
video.
was a remix of No Scrubs.
No Scrubs. It
Yeah.
was, yeah. And
It's called No Rugs.
it was called No Rugs. And I was playing
So
Princess
good.
Jasmine, but even in
Quality
Aladdin,
of it was so good.
thank you.
It was amazing.
It was,
But like
blew
they
my
make
mind.
up a town, and it's a mixture of like Middle East and Southeast Asian. Like they kind of put it together, like in the actual Aladdin.
Yeah.
Right. So I was really worried about like the fact that I'm using these actual images of these mosques.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like and like I just didn't know like would people be upset about?
Well,
like,
now that
these-
we know they are, we are upset.
I think people would be, but fuck those people.
Okay.
Because
You saw it.
As a Muslim, I think it was hilarious.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
you're great. It was amazing.
I didn't see
enjoyed
it, but like, what was the context? It was just a picture of a mosque.
Well, it
It's
was
a
behind,
background.
It was
She had-
green screen.
She had a lot of
and then
like it was very high quality green screen, and she had all those images behind her.
But was it just supposed to be like a beautiful building, or was it
Yeah.
like
It was
specifically
it was
a
just like
mosque?
a land, you know.
Oh.
So you're fine. You're fine.
I mean,
You're
yeah,
fine.
you weren't like doing any. You weren't like fucking a pig in front of it.
Yeah,
you're, you know, you're.
fine. You're
Actually,
fine.
there
That's
was
where
a
the
part
line
of
is.
it that I did see her.
why? How did this video not
The
pop up
word-
on my feed? Then If
I'll
you're-
send
Go
it to
It
you.
did
Google
really
It's
well. It was
amazing.
very popular. It went
Yeah, I'm
through-
about to look this
Actually,
up.
would you mind if our outro? Can we play your song
Sure.
for
Yeah.
this
Yeah, we'll
episode?
do that.
We'd love to do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
we queuing it up.
We're gonna do that in the edit.
We'll add it in post, I guess.
Oh, this comes out tomorrow.
We could do
Yeah.
it.
All right.
It's fine. Can we do that?
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that. We can figure it out later, guys.
Or we'll-
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
we should do our socials. We're a facial recognition comedy on Instagram and Facebook, facial rec comedy on Twitter, facialrecognitioncomedy.com. We have shows coming up November
10th?
November 10th, 9 p.m.
No,
West
10
Side
p.m.
10 p.m.
10
Oh,
p.m.
shit, you're
in
right.
November. 10 p.m. in November.
Sunday at 10 p.m.
That's the only
Work
time
from
it's gonna be
home
10
on
p.m.
Monday, you people. Just come to the show.
West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica, and we're also going to be back at New York Comedy Club, Gramercy location,
December 20th.
11:30 p.m. FRC promo code for money off.
FRC.
I'm Paula Viganalin, PALLAVIGUNALAN.
I'm Zara Ali. You can find me on all the socials as Really Zara. Zara is spelled Zahra.
Fizadasani, Fizaadosani. And that's it.